What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Crafty couple. Joined with me today for the first time, the United Central himself. Just got to 25k subscribers.
Come on.
Mr. Saeed. How are you getting on, Saeed, mate?
Yeah, man, not bad, mate. Thanks for having me on, mate. I appreciate that. And thanks, mate, for the kind words.
Always a pleasure to have an Ollie outer against an Ollie inner, as me and you seem to have that sort of banner. Joined by as well by the old Clonmel champagne connoisseur himself, Keane. How you getting on, mate?
Very good, Nolan. Thanks for asking. I'm delighted to be back on the channel there today, and repping the Out County after the good performance on the weekend. And congrats to Saeed on the 25k subscribers.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
We can't, I'd like to just talk about the weekend's fixtures and the massive game this weekend, but we can't talk. You can't just skip over what happened on Tuesday, and it was a disappointing night. We've been relegated to the Europa League, back to Thursday nights, and for me, I think you guys would agree. I was on Adam's channel when we beat Leicester. Me, him, and Tim were absolutely hopping around the place, buzzing because we'd finished third into the Champions League, and that all just seems null and void at the moment. It just seems pointless that we celebrated that because we were out in the group stage, and it's just a poor performance all over the shop. And your mate Harry Beckenbauer, so he wasn't having it that day, was he?
Nah, mate. You know what I mean? I've even cancelled everything about Beckenbauer. I think we're gonna have to part ways for a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe we might rekindle that kind of friendship. But yeah, it's just a massive disappointment, mate. You know what I mean? Like whether you're Ollie in or Ollie out, man, everyone's a Man United fan. You know what I mean? End of the day, no one wants their team to lose, especially not the embarrassment of the Champions League group stages, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing that hurts me the most. Like, it's the fact that, you're not going to get a time like this ever again. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, Man United had a chance this year. Barcelona, with, Messi. Messi is probably their best player, and he does a lot for them. You know, I think he had 6 chances against Juventus, six for all by Messi. You know what I mean? It's not the best Juventus team. Obviously, they got Ronaldo, but you know what I mean? This would have been a perfect moment to kind of make a storm in the Champions League, show what you're about. But final hurdle, mate. Final hurdle, and it's disappointing, man. It really, really is disappointing.
I mean, I was disappointed, and I think the bit that made it hurt a lot more was that we get them 2 goals, and it just gave us a lot of hope that we would do it, because we have done it a lot recently in terms of coming from behind, away from home. And Keane, how disappointed were you on Tuesday night, mate? I know you were upset in the group chat, but I want to get your full take on it, man.
Just absolutely dejected, and I still am. Like it's taken me kind of a couple of days to kind of really assess everything and kind of really look back in the game. Like I watched it again last night, and again, like the manner of the defeat, the goals we gave away were absolutely scandalous. To be playing back 5/back 7 and to give away them 2 goals early, that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking at any level. And then you take into consideration then as well, we get the 2 goals back, and you think, are we going to nick it? Are we going to nick it? And then, obviously we don't get it, and that's just heartbreaking. But then again, you look at the team selection, you have to look at the manager. Too negative. Like you're going to back 5, and then you go with 2 sitting midfielders like McTominay and Matic. And where's Van de Beek there? Van de Beek should be playing that game, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
It's just again, ineptitude. And now we're stuck in Thursday night football, and I bear to think now with the Thursday nights, Sundays now after Christmas, very busy time of the season. There's a lot of fixtures to come. This could really fuck up our season in every way, shape, or form. This could really mess it up. We could see burnout in most of our crucial players, because Ollie will play his, let's not get this twisted. If Ollie's still in the job after Christmas, he's going to play his best team in the Europa League. He's not going to go out and play the young fellas. He's going to want to win that because he got to the semis last year. So,
you say he wants to win that. He might be given no choice but to win that. If we come towards the end of the season and it doesn't look like we're going to get 4th position, that might be our best opportunity at getting back into the Champions League next year. And as annoying as it is that we don't get far in it, it's needed for money for the club. It's just a necessity for a top level club like us. So
100 million, mate. 100 million you're talking about now. You know what I mean? Like, just out of the football club. You know what I mean? 100 million. I think the owners are probably looking at that thinking, boy, that's a big one, you know. That's a big one to take, you know. You know what I mean? What does he deserve another contract? I'm not too sure. And then you're thinking after that, then, like, why is he still here then? You know what I mean? Why is he still at Man United if you're not gonna think if you think that he's done bad enough with that Champions League? Yeah, I mean, I know people call it a group of death, but RB Leipzig were formed about 10 years ago. You know what I mean? PSG, not the best PSG we'll ever see. Like, we beat them at their ground.
You could say PSG were formed 10 years ago as well, to be honest, mate.
Well, there you go then. Yeah, exactly.
And you look at it as well. You look at it as well, lads. For the last 4 games, we needed 4 points. 4 fucking points. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, you should be getting that. That Istanbul game is unfair. Like, I'll never forgive Oli for that. That was scandalous.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's an absolute joke, man. If you think if we won that Istanbul game, we're through.
Yeah, that was a killer one for me, you know. That was the one that kind of hurt me because it came out of nowhere, man. You know what I mean? Like, were we on good form? I think we beat Everton, didn't we? We beat Everton, didn't we? 4-1.
Yeah.
3-1,
yeah. 3-1, yeah. Cavani's first goal, yeah.
But it was when, you know, I think we went, but did we go for Twazabia at the back instead of Lindelof? And he was shaky. We went with Van der Beek in the kind of number 6 role. Mata played, you know what I mean? It was a bit of a mishmash team, but again, you know what I mean? Like, them kind of things cost you, but then we didn't react to it, though. You know what I mean? You can be a goal down, but we didn't react to it. We went 2-0 down, didn't we? Was it 1-1 or 2? Yeah, 2-0 down, wasn't it?
2-0 down.
2-0 down. Martial got a header, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? That was even, that's bad as it is, man. And I just feel like, you know, that result, man, even we needed a 1 point from the last 2 games. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't be doing that, man. 1 point. You're telling me you can't get 1 point out of 2 games. Like, that's what I meant about Ollie's kind of game. Like, against PSG, he didn't really need to go for it. I mean, he could have sat. That was a game to sit back against that team, not RB Leipzig. That was a game to sit back and say, you know what? We'll hit them on the break. We'll just defend for our lives. We'll hit them on the break. And I think everyone would say, you know what? Fair play, draw. And then, obviously, RB Leipzig would have been in a kind of a precarious position. You know what I mean? So
he picked the back 5 in the wrong game. Like, absolutely, you're right.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
in the wrong game. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? For the wrong team, wrong game. And I feel
what was the idea of bringing on Timbo and Axel? Like, I don't.
The worst one for me is Tellez.
Tellez didn't have a great game, to be honest, but the substitutions were baffling. I mean, you look. Obviously, there's the whole 5 subs in UEFA, so it's basically a different team. If you
you're
make all your
losing,
changes.
right? You're losing, and then you're like, right, let's bring on a centre half and a right back. You had one Matt on the bench, right, who's a creative player. You have Dan James, who's an attacker. Look, we mightn't rate him, but he's an attacking player. He has pace. He can get in behind.
In all fairness, if we had all, I know that, but if we had all seen Dan James come on, we'd have all collectively gone, well, we're fucked. Like,
yeah, but even Jesse Lingard was on the bench, a player who scored in big games for United. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of players there who are experienced.
With that, like, he was stupid to be bringing on.
Did you see Jesse Lingard, by the way? Did you see Jesse Lingard, by the way? There was he was playing a game. I think he was playing Fortnite or whatever he was playing, and I think the speaker said a lot of Ollie in, Ollie outs, and then basically the guy commented and said, "What does Ollie in, Ollie out mean to Jesse Lingard?" And he didn't speak. Jesse Lingard just like kept quiet. There's a video, it's going viral now, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That someone said that might be the sign that Ollie's actually leaving. You know what I mean?
I doubt it, mate. I doubt it.
But that's crazy though, man. Like, how is he not allowed to? For me, yeah, you look at the squad. I think Ollie's lost the dressing room. You know, I really do, man.
There's reports coming out that half the dressing room doesn't believe in him. Like, there's reports coming out since yesterday that half the dressing room is divided on him already.
Yeah. Van der Beek's probably thinking, what, bloody hell, mate, you know what I mean? I come from, you told me about, I'm going to play him, you told me about all these great plans. He's missing every week. Pogba, you know what I mean? That's that problem right there. You know what I mean? Bruno's probably thinking now, obviously, he gave a statement today, you know what I mean? He said, oh, we're disappointed. Mata's coming out to the press and saying it's not good enough. It's not like, you know, we're not, if you keep going from behind, it will bite you. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, mate, and I never thought that this would happen under Ollie. I never thought this, mate, where there'll be a dressing room divide. I never. Under Mourinho, you could tell it would happen, but under Ollie, you think at least he would have the camaraderie. But right now, that's fading away because you can't lose to a Champions League qualifier. That's a creme de la creme. You know what I mean? You go out that Carabao Cup, mate. I'll tell you what, mate. Lord TL, mate. I think that's a massive game for us now. If you think about it. Because we have to win a trophy this season, and the Europa League will take a massive strain on our squad in terms of the end of the Premier League season. And if you think about the Carabao Cup, it's actually quite difficult to win. Like the teams remaining, because when they get to the semi-final stage, they do play their first teams. You're playing like the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, who recently, despite them being shit, do seem to have our number. I don't even think you need to play. I think Man United, mate. Just focus on the Premier League, man. You know what I mean? I don't honestly with this manager.
I want a fucking trophy, man. This is like
listen,
I know
you're not getting that with Ollie. You're not getting that with Ollie, though. That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting that with Ollie. He doesn't know how to manage his squad. He doesn't know how to game by game. So for me now, I don't know if the Carabao Cup. I think it's one leg now. I just don't think Ollie can go into a game and then you know what I mean, and the bottle is just he bottles it all the time, and I feel like. I think we'll win Everton, and then we'll get to semi-finals and be like, you come against Liverpool or City, and then you screwed.
Or Spurs
even Spurs, yeah, like that low block, mate. You know what I mean? Like that low block. They've got two good squads, mate. They've got two very good squads.
If we play Spurs, I'm genuinely scared. I think we could get absolutely turned over. Because we already have this season, and it could happen. It could happen again, repeated, and. I really do think now, as much as I've been already in, like that on Tuesday is just not acceptable to be out of the Champions League at the group stage, especially in the position we were. And now we're getting to a point where we're at Europa League, and if we lose to City, because it's so tight in the top half of the table, let alone even the top 6 or top 4, we don't even have to get into that. We could probably fall to like 10th or 11th if we lose against City and other results go that way. So if you think about if we drop down the table, we get an embarrassment by City, a couple of bad results now, he could be looking like he's out of a job by January. Like I look, everyone wants to see United do well, but I just can't see it because when we get into a rut, and I think I'm happy that it's City this weekend because I'm hoping all the players will be well up for it and that they get their backs up.
How are you going to get up for a derby?
That's a fair point.
That was our biggest game of the season the other day. Let's not get that twisted. That was our biggest game of the season. We get through there. Thursday night football isn't a worry. Burnout, all that bullshit isn't a worry. Now we're in Thursdays. Like this squad's mentality is so soft and so weak. We only have a couple of players in that squad who we can really say who have a winning mentality and are leaders. But even at that, you're kind of clutching at straws. Maybe it's only about one or two players.
No, but do you know what the worst bit is? Because they're talking about, Manchester moving back into Tier 2. I was thinking, do you know what would be quality to be able to see a Champions League game this season again at Old Trafford? I was thinking about that already in my head. There was at no point in the last 2 weeks did I think we were going to go out. I thought it was just inconceivable that we couldn't not get one fucking point from 2 games. I couldn't conceive that idea. And now it's just, honestly, I'm still not after it.
I think you know what I mean? As much as the players are to blame, I think, you know what I mean, going 7 at the back, man, you know what I mean? That's criminal, man, for any single team. Let alone if you're playing like in the Championship, you can't go 7 at the back, man. Like, that cannot happen. And I feel like Ollie, I don't know what Ollie banked on, and you guys going to have to help me out, but I don't know what Ollie's seen in that game to suggest that, you know what I mean, he'd go with that team, you know what I mean? It's not as if the derby is like, you know what I mean, 2 days away. The derby's on Saturday. You're playing on Tuesday.
They kick off as well.
Good day ahead of Man City.
I mean, it's depressing.
He was going for a draw there. Let's be honest. That's what he was going for. He was like, look, let's get out here with a point and let's.
Yeah, but that goes tits up after 2 minutes, man. Because Wan-Bissaka's not covering his man.
Yeah, you fell asleep. Like you look at that starting 11, 7 defensive players on the pitch. he was going in that game not to lose. He wasn't going into that game to go out and play swashbuckling football. Like there's no two ways about it. And I think he's paying the price for it now. The whole team, the club, the fans, everyone's paying the price for that decision. Like again, as Saeed said earlier, if you're going to play the back 6 or back 5, back 7, whatever, you play that against PSG, a superior side in midfield, not Leipzig. You don't do it then. Because we proved in one game already that we're vastly superior going forward. Do you know what I mean? We proved that by beating them 5-0. So why all of a sudden you change your tactics then? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And again, you don't know what type of team Ollie's going to pick from one week to the next. What's he going to go with now against City on the weekend? Does he stick with the back 7? Does he go to a diamond? Does he go back to his 4-2-3-1? Like, this is the thing with Ollie. He's in the job 2 years. He's in the job 2 years, lads. And they said on BT Sport the other night, and I was watching it, and like, it nearly made me sick after the game. They said after the game, Ollie they need to find an identity. You're in the job 2 years. How in God's name don't you have an identity after 2 years? Now, I know they'll throw the technicality. He didn't get the job through March. But he's been working with most of this group of players since December 2018. So how in God's name can you not have an identity and a style of play in nearly 24 months? It just doesn't make sense.
Look, it's Ollie freestyle seems to be his identity, as Saeed coined it. That's just what it is, mate. It seems to be just the only real identity we kind of have had over the last 2 years is counter-attack, which is not really an identity to a style of play.
It's not an identity.
Keane and Owen, you Ollie out, guys. I know Saeed is, and rightfully so. I cannot believe what he done with the lineup and subs against RB Leipzig. Keane, are you Ollie out now?
Yeah, I've been Ollie out since Spurs.
Since Spurs.
Wow. Why are you not Ollie out though, Keane? Sorry, Ian. What's your? Why are you so adamant that Ollie can change it?
No, I'm not adamant he can change it anymore. No. I was just in the boat of bringing someone in. At this point, I don't think it's going to change. At the last couple of points, wasn't going to change much. But now it's now at the point where we've suffered that Champions League exit, and I'm now fearing that we could drop out of the Champions League spaces, possibly even into an Arsenal situation. So something does need to change. But I just personally don't think it will anytime soon. I don't think the board will sack him. I think in terms of
the City game will determine his last saloon, mate. I think if he gets beaten convincingly, and City go ahead of us, and I understand we've got a game in hand, but I just feel like if we lose this game at home, that will be the kind of I think that'll be the nail on the coffin. I think the nail will be the coffin, because I feel like, where do you go from there? Like, you know what I mean? I think we've got Sheffield United out after that, Leeds. I understand it might be winnable games, but the momentum's gone. The momentum is flat. Do you know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's heartbreaking, man. You know what I mean? The players, how can they pick up themselves from this?
I mean, you've just got to hope that they can. And hope that they get up for this derby game, and hope that they try and make it up to the fans, because that's what should be in every player's mind, is that they've disappointed millions of people around the world, and go out and put in a performance against City like they did in the last game at Old Trafford before lockdown, and go and play out of your skins and get a result. And that's all we can really hope for, to be honest.
This is always the thing with Ollie. When his job is under threat, there's no better team in the league than an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team on the verge to sack. There's been so many times when he's been on the verge of getting sacked, then he'd pull a result out of his arse.
Can you do that today? Can he do that tomorrow on Saturday? Can he do that? Do you think he can do it though? Can you believe he can do it? This is a different team. With last time I was there, I don't know if you were there, Ian, but I was there.
It's Owen Saeed, man. Fucking hell, you get it wrong. Jesus.
I always say it wrong every time. Owen, Ian, Owen, yeah. I think last time we were there, they had no De Bruyne. You know what I mean? This is a different.
They were missing De Bruyne, but Yeah, but that was.
And we played 5 in the back. We played 5 in the back, and we defended most of the game. And I felt like the crowd was unbelievable that night. The crowd was, honestly.
When somebody's goal went in, I cracked the screen on my phone.
Mean.
It was fucking beautiful, man.
That's what I mean. Like, I still have seen
it. 60 good for the new screen.
I'm gonna put it on my Instagram now. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram, like, throwback. You know what I mean? Can we do it in the Manchester Derby? Do you know what I mean?
I pray that we can, man.
Did you ever see that goal of Titanic music? It's just beautiful.
Mate, Scott McTominay, I honestly, I don't think there's a woman in the Red Half of Manchester that wouldn't have made love to him that night. He had women knocking at his door left, right, and centre. I'd say that was beautiful, and hopefully we can see that again on Saturday. But we do like to have a look at the rest of the fixtures in the league, and we are starting at the Friday, the 8:00 kickoff. It's Leeds versus West Ham. Leeds have been quite inconsistent. Leeds have been quite inconsistent recently. West Ham, to be honest, were quite unlucky against us. They won 3 games on a bounce before they played us. Contentious goal, whatever you want to call it, with Henderson. You know, a goal's a goal still at the end of the day. Until they introduce sideline technology, it will be. So it's, you know, that's just the way I like. At Ellen Road, so no fans, sadly. How do you see this one panning out, Saeed, mate?
I think it'll be an interesting game, this one, you know. The only thing is, for me, West Ham don't do well away from home. And that's, I know they beat Sheffield United, but I feel like they'll be just undone, mate. I feel like Leeds they're a yo-yo team, Leeds, like you said, inconsistent, but I feel like at home, you know what I mean, I feel like they might just get the win. You know what I mean? I'm going to go for 3-1 for Leeds.
3-1 Leeds. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me, but it wouldn't surprise me as well if West Ham won 3-1, because
that's what Leeds, I mean. Yeah, it could go either way.
It could go either way. I mean, Leeds actually haven't got a win in their last 3 games now. So, Keane, what are you thinking? Do you think Leeds will get one today, tomorrow even?
Do you know what? It's such a close game to call, like, because both teams have been reasonably good this year. Do you know? And West Ham were really unlucky not to get the result against United last week, and Leeds again have proved in most of the games that they played that they can play really good football. And one player I really like from Leeds is Calvin Phillips. I think he's a fantastic footballer, a very good holding midfielder. And you know, I'm kind of jealous that they have him, because we need a good holding midfielder. But you know, for me, I think it's a close game. But
Alan Smith 2.0.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I'm actually going to go for West Ham, because they're 2-1 on Sky Bet, which is kind of big odds for West Ham in a game against Leeds. So I'm going to go with West Ham and go with a 2-1 win, with a Haller redeeming himself after that absolute howler last week.
Oh, Haller. Bloody hell, mate.
Mate,
Howler from Haller.
Yeah. Howler from Haller. I mean, to be fair, West Ham had a lot of chances in that game. I'm surprised.
Yeah, they did.
Like 3-1 did not do them justice at all. I mean,
Gareth
Bowen's
was actually unreal for him. He tore Wan-Bissaka.
Bowen, mate, honestly, said it at the start of the season. He's a top quality player. He's so underrated. It's because he's at West Ham. It's just that West Ham sort of everyone has that sort of hoodoo about him that no one's.
For me, it reminds me of him. You remember Marco Brighton? Not Marco Brighton.
That's well harsh.
No, Everton. Remember Everton?
That's a bit hard.
He was decent. He was okay.
Jared Bowen's a lot better than Matthew Everton.
Nah, the Everton was cold, mate. Everton was quality.
Everton was a good footballer. I think Jared Bowen is sort of a level up.
It reminds me of him, though. It reminds me of him, though. The way he used to have that left foot, mate. You know what I mean? Just whiz it past you.
Back when Stoke Alona had Tony Pulis.
Oh, man.
Oh, we'll get to Pulis in a minute. We'll get to
Tony Paella later on. We're moving on to Saturday. No Monday nights, actually, this week. 5 games on a Sunday, which is a bit mad. Saturday, 12:30, West Midlands derby. Wolves looking to redeem themselves after they got hammered by Liverpool. And Villa, you know, sort of dipped in form recently after that great start they had. I think they've lost. They've 1 win in 5 now in their last 5 games. And they look like they're struggling. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did actually. They did actually miss out last week against Newcastle. So
they've got 2 games in hand, though.
However, has anyone seen the photos in circulation of a certain Mr. Jack Grealish? Shall not disco. He is with a lovely young or mid, 30 plus maybe, I don't know, woman. And he seems to be enjoying himself in a dressing gown. We'll just leave it at that, basically. And he seems to be in a bit of trouble again. Himself and Ross Barkley had met up for dinner as well, and he's in trouble for that. So it could be a bit of a sticky one for old Jackie Grealish, but I'm sure Villa will find the way to brush it under the carpet. Yeah, I think poor Grealish, man, he's just a lad, isn't he? He's just a bit of a go out.
He's not getting as much media coverage as other players in the media, though, is he? Like,
this is the thing that annoys me about it. Greenwood got absolutely crucified.
There's something not as bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't want to give allegations, but it did look like she was there for free, that lady. But like, exactly. Yeah, so like, I think Grealish is a lot worse off. But back to the game, because if we go on about Grealish forever, I don't want to go on about snakes. Wolves or Villa? Who's getting the result, Keane, mate?
I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw. I think this is actually gonna be a good game. Derbies are always good. And like Wolves and Villa are actually two decent teams to watch. Raúl Jiménez, just shout out to him. He came out of hospital this week.
Yeah, went to training ground today.
Yes, that's fantastic to see, and so hopefully he gets full recovery soon. For me, look, it's going to be a draw. Both players have a lot of quality. I think with the things that are after coming out with Jack Grealish, I think there's no better game for him to the headlines again, And I'm going to go with I'll go with 2-2, and I'll go with Grealish getting on the score sheet for Villa, getting a double, and I'll go with Pedence and Ruben Neves for Wolves.
Grealish getting his fill both on and off the field. Saeed, mate, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go for a 1-1 result. I think it'll be a cagey game, to say the least.
A cagey affair. I'm actually going to go for a Wolves 2-1. I think Wolves will have enough to edge it out. I'm not sure if Barkley is back. There's sort of a 50-50 on that, I think. But if Barkley's back, that could be a huge boost for Villa. He was playing very well before he went out. Hopefully him and Grealish can return to that form. And, who knows? Barkley might have been in the hotel room with him. Let's see if we can grab a double act. But moving on, that's enough about the Brummies. Newcastle, another Brummies team here. Newcastle, West Brom, the 3:00 kickoff. West Brom absolutely battered by Crystal Palace 5-1. And when you're losing 5-1 to Palace, it's just not a good omen, especially when it's at home. When Benteke is putting two past your goalie, it's spelling bad things, and it's spelling relegation for him. Newcastle as well, having that week off with that game against Villa being cancelled. How are you seeing this one playing outside?
2 laugh game. Who's at home? West Brom.
Newcastle. And Wilson's backfiring as well, so he's got 7 this season in like 9, I think.
I'm gonna go for 2-0 Newcastle. I think Wilson will prove the kind of edge on this one. Newcastle, I'm going for.
What are you going for, Keno, mate?
2 of these teams are fantastic, aren't they? Like, they play such entertaining football. They're great. They're great.
You say that? Say Maximan, Wilson. They're not bad.
Yeah, like this Steve Roos against Slaven Village. Like, what a fantastic matchup. I'm going to be ambitious. And I'm going to go to 3-3 at St James's Park. Whatever they call it now.
The fuck are you saying? 3-3. The fuck are you been drinking today, mate? Jesus Christ.
I'm way on the Volvic now. I swear that's water in the bottle.
On the Volvic, fair enough, mate. I mean, 3-3. I'm going to go on agree with Saeed here and say 2-0 Newcastle. I think Callum Wilson is just going to steady them to mid-table, and I think West Brom will be gone, and I think Bilic will be out of a job pretty soon. I said it at the start of the season. I think he'd be the first manager to be sacked. Ollie might beat him to it, and then that leads us into our game, the 5:30 kickoff against City. Anyone who's actually spent some time in Manchester, I lived there for 3 years. You'll understand how annoying City fans are and how, just petulant. They're just in your ear. They're just an annoying bunch of people, and it'd be great to beat them and make Manchester red again. Saeed, mate, you're up there in Russia. Are we going to do the Scum this weekend, or are the Scum going to
I don't know, mate.
tear us apart?
Oh, man, I'm going to go for See, I like to bet against Man United, but I never want Man United to lose. I never want to see that Man City will win, but I can't see Man United winning this game, mate. I really can't. I'm going to go for 2-2.
A Desmond.
Yeah,
Desmond.
Yeah.
Desmond. What do you say, Keno, mate?
As I referred to earlier, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on the verge of getting sacked, and we're all talking about him getting sacked, the fucker just gets the result, don't he? Like, he's been doing it now the last kind of couple of months. For me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Manchester United win. And again, my man, the best midfielder on the planet, Bruno Fernandes, outshines KDB on the weekend and scores a fantastic retaken penalty that's going to boil some piss online.
I mean, I'd love to see it. In terms of lineups, lads, for the game, who are we going for in starting in net? In net, do you still keep De Gea in? I mean, the third goal, he was sort of at fault for it.
I'd keep Henderson in there.
You put Henderson in?
I put Henderson just because I feel like he kind of gives you, you know what I mean? I looked at that, you know what? I don't know about you lads, yeah, but that goal, David De Gea, could he have come out a little bit quicker? Did he hesitate?
Yeah. He did. He did hesitate for me. He should have. A good commanding keeper comes out and claims.
He comes out and clears him out, and I just think, you know what, man? Like, I like David De Gea, but you know, what I mean, if you got a choice, mate, I just stick Henderson in there because he's a derby. He knows what it's about. He might command the back line better. You know what I mean? I go with Henderson. I go Wan-Bissaka right back, even though I think he's been poor. Defense, mate. You know, I mean, people talk about Maguire not being good enough, but you can't rely on Bayer to stay fit. Victor Lindelof's only around. Twanzebe doesn't get chances in this poor lineup. You know what I mean? So I'll probably go with, again, Harry Maguire, Lindelof. I go still with Telles, even though a lot of people are doubting him. I still go with Telles because we need some left creativity on the left-hand side. Fred, and I'd still go with Van der Beek in there. Fred, Van der Beek, Bruno in the hole, Mason Greenwood on the right, Rashford through the middle. Yo, we got a situation here, you know.
Is Cavani back?
Apparently, someone said he's back. So if he's back, then Cavani.
I think Cavani is back. Fred's definitely back. Well, that was well. I got that notification from Man United. Yeah, what are you going for then as the front three? Are you gonna change the formation then, possibly, or?
No, there's Cavani up top and then Rashford on the left and then Mason Greenwood on the right. Yeah.
Keane, mate, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with Henderson in goal, definitely 100%. I said to Adam at the start of the season, I thought he should have been number one. I think David De Gea just proved last season towards the back end that he's finished. I think he is finished. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, because we don't really have a choice, really. He's the only kind of competent right back we have. And against City, he always seems to play well against Raheem Sterling. So hopefully that we can count on that weekend. I'm going to go to Nzebi and Maguire. I think with City, they have a lot of pace up front, and I think if like Maguire, I know people are calling for his head, but out of him and Lindelof, I'd probably pick Maguire because City will have threat off set pieces, and they've like Ruben Diaz and Laporte that'll come up, Rodri in the defence. We need him in there, and so out of him and Lindelof, I think he's probably slightly more comfortable on the ball as well. So I'd go with Maguire, and then like Saeed, I stick with Alex Telles. Again, like look, if we're gonna get goals off set piece and we need good delivery into Cavani, then look, he needs to start. Absolutely, he needs to play. For me, I'm going to go with Fred in the hole in midfield. I'm going to go with Donny van de Beek in alongside him in midfield, even though he's playing slightly further in kind of box-to-box role. And then I go with my man Bruno Fernandes in number 10. And then I go with, as same as Saeed, I'm going to go Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani up top. Even though with the midfield, I wouldn't be shocked to see Paul Pogba start ahead of Van de Beek. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be shocked to see if Ollie throws him in there. I really wouldn't be shocked.
I don't think he'll choose him. I think Ollie will get crucified, mate, if he started Paul Pogba.
He already got crucified there, bringing him on.
But if he has an Etihad moment, though, if he has an Etihad.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. But nah, I doubt it, mate. I really do. I doubt he'll bring him on, mate.
I
You
mean,
just don't know, Ollie.
mate.
It's like doing the lottery though. Like you just don't know with Ollie what team he's gonna pick. Like he could shock us and go Matic, McTominay, and fucking Fred in midfield. That wouldn't shock you.
Yeah, true. You know what?
Not
That's
much
actually
Ollie.
true. Yeah.
Mate, if that happens, I'm just gonna turn off the telly. Matic, Fred, McTominay. I couldn't bear to watch that. I think we just get walked all over in the midfield. But I mean, in terms of our mate here at M, he reckons he'd bring Rojo back from. I don't even know where Rojo is. Is he in Manchester? Is he in Argentina? He's probably chilling in the Lowry for himself. I personally don't agree with that, mate.
He's a shithouse, but no way.
He is a shithouse, but I just don't think that's gonna be the thing that we need. I would like to see Henderson go back into the nets, to be honest, though, and midfield three of Donny, Fred, and Bruno. I think is completely necessary, and then bringing in keeping the back four the same. I would say I'd like to see Axel be brought in, but I just don't see it happening. And then the front three, if Cavani is fit, he starts for me with Rashford and Mason either side of him. Daniel James gets nowhere near that team. I really hope. I have weird visions of him randomly starting. I don't know why. I just
say a high line. Ollie Dan James pace.
I just see him playing it. I mean, Ricky will probably be salivating at the mouth, but the thought of Dan James coming up against Mendy is not filling me with joy, to be honest. No. We've got our mate Doug here as well. Most importantly, what minute is Bruno getting that penalty kick? Placing bets on Keane. What minute is he doing it?
70 seconds.
The 72nd. If it's the 72nd minute winner,
like Tottenham, we'll be 6-1 down after that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? On every show I'm on, whether it's here, whether it's my own one or Adams or whatever, I always predict a Bruno penalty, and I just get abused so much after it, and I love it. Like, you know what I mean? It just knows I'm living rent free.
There's no such thing as bad publicity for your channel, anyway. At least. So what we got? I reckon I'm going to go a bit positive here. I think we're going to win 2-0. I think Ollie's just going to pull it out like he normally does, and we'll be a bit happy on Adam Sunday show, hopefully. Moving on from the biggest game of the weekend to a pretty big game in terms of Everton-Chelsea, the 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Everton as well.
Wow, 8 o'clock kickoff, bloody hell, man! Like straight away, they're not messing around, are they? You know what I mean?
They're not, and I'm really afraid now that they're going to keep these kickoff times once fans start going back to the grounds. Because it's just going to be imagine like getting that, your kickoff time's 7:15 on a Sunday. Like it's just
I think we'll have most of the games 7:15. I rarely think that we'll get a 4:30 kickoff. I think it'll be mostly 7:15 or 1. That's prime time, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's prime time for telly, but I mean, myself and yourself are quite regularly match-going fans, so like,
imagine I'm flying over like a 7:15 kickoff, like, and then let's say like I go on the piss for yourself, like, do you know what I mean, that night, and then I fly home that morning at 10 o'clock. So imagine the hangover, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think Sky Sports are thinking about you, mate. I don't. They don't give a shit about me and Saeed, who are in the country, and around the corner. Don't think they give a shit about any fans. To be honest, it's more that the fan at home that they're worried about, and it's sad to see, but that's just the way football's going. And I don't think anything we do is going to change it, which is a killer. But looking at the game anyway, Everton-Chelsea, Everton just seem to be in and out of form. They just can't seem to strike anything up at the moment. And Chelsea are flying at the moment. Giroud with a few goals for himself. And, they look like a team in great form. And they had fans back in for the first time as well in that game against Leeds. Can they continue that form? And a lot of people are tipping them for a title challenge now under Frank Lampard. And so, what do you think? Do you think they'll do one over Ancelotti?
I think they'll win the game. I think they'll win the game comfortably. I think it'll be a 2. I'm going to go for 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. Do you reckon Chelsea can challenge this year, or do you reckon they'll fade away?
I think they'll challenge and then fade away towards the end. I think Liverpool will win it, but I think they'll fade towards the end. I think they know how, you know what I mean? I think, you know what I mean? Winning a game when you need to go away, you know what I mean? Top 6 games, that'll be the key. We never ever think top 6 games will be the key, but I think that'll be key this year, top 6 games. You know, how it used to be. I think we're slowly getting back to that, how it used to be, you know?
Yeah, slowly. I mean, I was thinking that at the start of the season, it could be like when I was growing up as a kid, it could be United versus Chelsea for the title. But I think there is more chance. I think there's more chance of me landing a night out with Margot Robbie than that happening. So, Keane, mate, what are you thinking? Do you think Ancelotti's going to get done over by his old club here, or Everton going to pull off a shock?
Who's at home?
Everton,
yeah.
Fans were there, I'd say they'd have a chance, but no. I think Chelsea win. I think it'd be a close
fans
game.
Fans are there because Liverpool is tier 2. So there will be 2,000 fans at Goodison.
Yeah, Goodison, yeah.
Yeah, so you know Liverpool's in tier 2 in the UK. So
yeah. Right, okay.
But how much of a difference are 2,000 fans going to make in? I think Goodison's 35,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's quite a compact little stadium, so it could make an effect. But I
you know what? Can I ask a question? I know it's not related to this one, but if Man United were to get allocation, which would they choose? Manchester fans only, or would it be?
It's all right, mate. I've got a registered Manchester address, so it's not too. I'm not too worried about that.
Good, then. That's good.
But did you know? I got a survey because of the season ticket thing. They sent you out a survey, ask you where you live, where you travel from, and then they do a ballot from that. Pretty much, I think they're going to do a ballot. Yeah. But yeah, Keane. So, who do you think Everton then will get the win with the fans there?
Do you know what? I haven't gone for like one outside team to win this. Well, I went for West Ham actually, so I'm going to go Everton. Do you know what? I'm going to go Everton sneaking the 2-1 win because I have a few friends who are Chelsea fans. I'd love to see a meltdown on the weekend. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Everton win. Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get on the score sheet as well because he's just quality up there.
I mean, I'm hoping for an Everton win because I've got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison in my fantasy team. But I think Chelsea are just in too good of a form at the moment, and everything seems to be going a bit too rosy for them. So I think I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea win myself. Moving on to Sunday, as I said earlier, jam-packed with fixtures, 5 games on a Sunday. Never see the like of it, really. It's a bit mental. It's not normal. 12 o'clock, the early kickoff, Southampton versus Sheffield United. Southampton got Ings back. They seem like they're in flying form. And Sheffield United, they just look condemned, the poor bastards, don't they? 1 point from 11 games. Hate to see it. Love to see him stay up, but I don't see it happening. Keane, are Southampton going to walk over him here?
Absolutely. I love Sheffield United because of the Irish connection that we have there, but it's not happening. They're not staying up. They're going down. And Saeed's man Hasselhooter, he's going to get the business. He's going to get the business done. And then I'm going to go with 4-0 Southampton.
4-0. 4-0. That's the thing, though. I think Sheffield United have been bad, but if you look at their results, they've actually narrowly lost. They've narrowly lost pretty much every game, only by one. I think they've only lost by more than one goal once.
What did that say to you? Next week they'll turn into prime Barcelona, mate. You know what I mean? Like, just turn it up for Man United.
Yeah.
I can't see
Southampton aren't playing without Ings anymore, are they? Like, do you know what I mean? They're
back with Ings. Ings is back.
Yeah, Ings is back. So, what are you thinking, Saeed?
I'm gonna go for 2-0 Southampton.
2-0. I'm gonna say 2-1 Southampton. Moving on to, it's a London derby technically, but it's South versus North. And if anyone has ever been to London and tried to get from North to South, it's easier to get from North London to Manchester. So it's not really a derby. But Palace Spurs at Selhurst Park, 2:15. Spurs absolutely flying this season, looking like they're going to challenge. But Palace are, off that 5-1 victory, Benteke getting a brace. Yeah. Can they pull off a shock here? Maybe get a draw? Say, what do you think?
I think this will be the game, one of the games of the weekend. I think Crystal Palace at home. You know what? I'm going to go for 3-2 Tottenham.
3-2 Tottenham. That sounds like a cracker of a game.
Mm.
Keane, are you thinking along the same lines as Saeed, or do you think Spurs will park the bus and get a 1-0?
Do you know what? I think we're going to get a Roy Hodgson masterclass. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Spurs, that they are flying at the moment, but they're due to drop points. I don't think they'll lose, but I think Roy Hodgson's going to stick 10 behind the ball, and he's going to stick Wilfred Zaha up front, and he's going to be thinking, right, let's just hold them out as long as we can. Let's try and make a goal. But I think Harry Kane will get on the score sheet for Spurs. Selhurst Park is a tough place to go. Look, I'll go 1-1, but then again, Spurs are flying at the moment, so you just don't know. But I'm gonna go 1-1.
Well, no, I'm gonna go 1-0 Spurs, last minute winner from Kane or Son. That's what I'm thinking. Fulham, Liverpool, don't need to spend a lot of time on it.
No.
It's at Fulham. Fulham have got some fans in. Fair play to them. Is it, Saeed, is it 6 or 7?
Well, I wish it was, mate. But, I'm going to go for 3-0 Liverpool.
3-0. I mean, who knows? Maybe Loftus-Cheek could put in the performance of his life. Keane, mate, what do you think?
3-1 Liverpool. I think Lookman scores a penalty or something. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. But
I don't think Lookman's ever getting allowed to take a penalty for that football club ever again after that calamity against West Ham. If I was Scott Parker, I wouldn't let him personally. I think Liverpool are going to walk this 4-0. Absolute cakewalk for them. Well, yeah, but Fulham have fans back. But I've been going Fulham away for years. It's the most least threatening ground I've ever been to in my life. It was the one away day I could always wear my United shirt because it's just not. It's just not intimidating. You're on the river. There's loads of lovely bars around the place. I just see Liverpool absolutely walking over them here. Now we've got 2 games at 7:15 actually this on Sunday. It's Arsenal Burnley up first, and that is it's a massive game for Arsenal because they're they're struggling. They're 15th or 16th in the league at the moment, and they desperately need a win here. And if because their next few fixtures are quite difficult, so if they don't get a victory here, it could spell the final days for Tony Paella, as I like to call him. So what are you thinking? Do you think Burnley might pull off something at the Emirates, or do you think?
Nah, I think Burnley will probably keep Arteta in the job, and I feel like that's probably best for everyone, mate. You know what I mean? I think Arsenal should have enough to beat Burnley. If they don't, I think he's gone. He has to be gone, surely. So I'm going to go with 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0. They are currently up 2-1 against Dundalk. I mean, if you're conceding to Dundalk, there's something seriously wrong with your defence. If anyone has ever watched the League of Ireland, Keane, what are you thinking? Look, it's nothing against the League of Ireland. It's a great breeding ground, but in terms of quality of football compared to the Premier League, it's pretty bad. Keane,
that's all we say.
Yeah, Keane, what are you thinking?
Do you know what? As much as I love to see Arteta stay in the job and trust the process and all that crack, you know what I mean? I'm going to go for another embarrassing defeat for Arsenal. I just don't rate them at all. I think they're crap. They're useless, and their fans think they're a lot better than they actually are, but really they're useless. They're a bad team. I'm going to go with 2-1 Burnley. And I stay in on a Sunday evening right after the late kickoff, AFTV and chill. I don't know if there's any other better way to spend a Sunday than Netflix. It's nearly better than Netflix and chill. Do you know what I mean? It's that good. I love seeing a good old fashioned Arsenal meltdown. So for me, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Burnley and win. And Paella maybe getting the sack very soon.
Paella Poulis.
So Tony Paella might be getting the road. I mean, who do they bring in? Because that's a poison chalice if they do. I mean, I can't see that happening. I could possibly see a draw. Wenger back in. I think he's very comfortable at his little role at UEFA or FIFA or whatever he's doing at the moment, I think. So I don't think he needs that added stress to his life. So I'm gonna say Arsenal to win 2-0, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ended in a draw. Leicester Brighton as well on at 7:15. It is on Amazon Prime as well for all the you Prime users out there. And it's a quite a good game because Leicester are flying this season, and Brighton have played a lot of good football, but their results really aren't showing it. And have been unlucky, especially the game against us. And they might be looking to right some wrongs, especially with Leicester. That shot lost to Fulham as well a couple of weeks ago. So Leicester are prone to mistakes. And what do you think, Saeed? Do you think Brighton will get one over here?
Nah, I think Leicester will carry on. I think they've got momentum now. They're very, very yo-yo. They're kind of like Vibes FC team. 1 minute they're good, 1 minute they're brilliant, 1 minute they're kind of awful. I think, I think this will be a convincing win. I think we're going for 3-0 Leicester.
3-0. 3-0 Leicester. Hopefully Jamie Vardy won't be smashing any corner flags at his own stadium. Keane, do you think Leicester will have enough for Brighton here, or could Brighton pull off a shock at the King Power?
I like Brighton. They're a really good side. I really do rate Graham Potter. I think he is a good manager. Like, he plays good football, and he's kind of changed the culture of Brighton, going from a Route 1 Chris Hughton team to a team that actually plays good football. So, I commend them for that, but I think Leicester are too much. I think their midfield not too much for him. Jamie Vardy hopefully smashes up a few corner flags in his own stadium, and I'm going to go with a 3-0 Leicester win.
A 3-0 Leicester win. I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester myself. And that's rounding up all the fixtures for the weekend. And I do like to finish with a bit of a random question. And I'm gonna go and say the best team performance you ever witnessed. So it could be for United, it could be United, or it could be against United. It could be a neutral game that you went to with your mate or something. But just something that you witnessed and thought, that is absolutely beautiful. I've never seen a team play like that before.
That's a big one.
It is a difficult question to ask. I will give you lads some time. I mean, to be fair, as much as I'd like to say United,
is it a game you're at now, or a game you watch live on telly like that?
Either or, mate. But for me personally, my one was I was at the Champions League final in Wembley in 2011, and it kills me to say it wasn't a United team, but the best team I ever seen play was that Barcelona team. Pedro, Villa, Messi, they absolutely tore us apart, and I don't think I've seen a better performance from a front three in my entire life. That was the best performance I ever seen from a football team. Because the 2009 team wasn't as good, I don't think, but that 2011 team, Pedro, Villa, Messi, I don't think it gets better than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that as well. I think that was, for me, head and shoulders, mate, one of the best Barcelona ties I've ever seen.
Well, it wasn't for me. I was crying walking down Wembley Way as a little 11-year-old lad, thinking that we just lost the Champions League final.
You know who I'm going to go for? Because you both said the 2011 Barcelona team. I do agree that club team is unreal. I'm actually going to go on international level here. I'm going to go with the 2012 Spain team that won the Euros. Watching that game against Ireland and watching how good that team was. My God, that Spain team, Xavi and Iniesta in their prime. Fabregas, Sergio Ramos, Piqué in their prime, Jordi Alba. Do you know what I mean? That team was just untouchable on the international stage. They went on and won the World Cup and the Euros back to back. They won the three major tournaments, 2008, 2010, and then 2012. That team on the international stage was untouchable. You know what I mean? And they kind of that possession-based tick-attack of football. They kind of on an international stage, they revolutionized that. So I'm going to go with that team because that kind of has a close link to that Barcelona team because a lot of them players played there.
Yeah, I mean, two greatest teams. I mean, most of that Barcelona team was in it. You got the likes of Xavi, Iniesta, Pedro, Villa, even Victor Valdez was a second choice keeper, like a Piqué. 5 or 6 at the start. And
you throw the likes of Sergio Ramos into that then as well. And who was their right back then? He was he played for Villarreal.
It was Jordi Alba in 2012. I remember that.
Didn't they have a fella in 2008? Oh, I can't think from now. Was he a midfielder or a right back? Capdevila, remember him? Capdevila,
yeah.
He was class.
I can't even. Yeah.
Xabi Alonso as well.
Xabi Alonso. I mean, we could talk about them teams all night, mate. They were just brilliant to watch, and I don't think we'll be watching that at Old Trafford anytime soon. Sadly,
No.
as with the likes of Fred and McTominay, I don't think we'll be seeing any tiki-taka football in the Stretford end anytime soon. That rounds it up for tonight. So he's got to get off somewhere else as well. So we'll let you head off. But if you want to give a quick shout out to yourself, Saeed, mate, on your old United Central.
Yeah, United Central, mate. Follow me on there, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Let's get you on owing to 100 subscribers, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, please get me to 100 subscribers. It'd make me very happy at Christmas time. Someone unsubscribed today as well. I went from 83 to 82. I was fuming.
Wow.
Yeah, fuming,
Get the content up, man. Get the content up. Be consistent and they'll come, mate.
Raging. Keane, mate, give a shout out for yourself, mate.
So you can catch me over there at the Weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We are looking to hit 150 before Christmas. We're literally one off it. So if you're watching it, you're not subscribed. Subscribe now, and we'll hit that milestone 14 days out.
14 days. I mean, it's really not that hard. Just give it a click, lads. It makes our lives a bit happier. So if you could do that, that'd be wonderful. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please keep watching. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next week.